Welcome to the Own It Powercast, the place to be when you get serious about making big changes and accelerating growth in your life and in your relationships. Finally create the life you've always wanted, living life on your own terms. Learn how to take your fear and turn it into powerful choices that will create sustained change. Now your host, Mary Baker.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Own It Powercast, a place where you can come to get what you need to move yourself forward. Hey, it's Mary Baker, and welcome to episode 75, Putting Grace and Gratitude into Practice. So as you know, all month we've been talking about gratitude and letting go, but because I think November is also a great time to take stock of where we are towards the end of the year, how life is going, how we're doing emotionally, psychologically, physically, spiritually. This has been a tough year for all of us, for some of us more than others. And so no matter where you are on that continuum, my hope is that you can listen to today's episode and take away a more soulful focus on the concepts of gratitude and grace. So what do I mean by grace? Now, grace has originated as a very spiritual concept, I guess a Christian concept, but I'm looking at it in a general sense. So you can take this and interpret it however you want to today. I encourage you to do whatever feels right for you. So grace means receiving something without earning it. In fact, a lot of people say grace comes when you least deserve it, perhaps. It's forgiveness, it is absolution, it is redemption. It's another chance, it's another day. It's another opportunity. It's acceptance in my mind. So receiving grace and giving grace are the two aspects I want to talk about today. So showing grace to others. Now, it's a lot easier to receive grace than it is to show it. It's harder for us to show it. Maybe we've been hurt. Maybe we carry resentment. Maybe we have disappointment in people around us, and most importantly, those we love. Maybe we want them to feel the pain that we feel. We want them to take responsibility. We want them to own their consequences. What I want to talk about today is you can give grace and still hold on to your boundaries. And you can give grace because at the end of the day, forgiveness is about setting you free, not them. They have their own process they have to walk through. Forgiveness and grace mean you are not caught up obsessing about it, angry about it, focused on it, feeling like you are a prisoner or a hostage to what others have done and or not done, are doing or not doing that are making your life or have made your life very difficult. So some ways we can practice giving grace to others is choosing, and I'm saying this is a conscious choice, to let go of things in the moment. Like zip it. Don't even say it unless it's necessary. Don't comment. Don't point out where they missed a spot or they're not getting it or they've screwed it up. And zip it with no last word. No more over-explaining. And those of you who do this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You make sure they know, quote unquote, exactly what you're talking about and all of the details. So they get it, right? Guys, that's controlling. When we are on the other side of that, we know how condescending that can feel. Because the meta message is, what's wrong with you? Don't you have a brain? I need to explain it all to you. Learn to use words like, okay, or I'll leave you to that, or let me know how I can support you, or it's okay, we'll figure it out. Choosing not to focus on the little stupid things. 9 times out of 10, they're going to figure those out on their own. You don't need to be running the universe and being the one. Now you have to choose. If something really matters, if they're really missing an important thing, okay. But I want you to practice doing it gently and lovingly, saying, hey, I feel bad pointing this out, but I'd rather say something than not. But I think you missed an important thing. Giving grace means taking the responsibility ourselves to do our grief work, our own grief work, so we can get to forgiveness. kicking and screaming to acceptance, remember? That's our job, not theirs. Not questioning, judging, innuendo, sarcasm, teasing. Even if this is well-intentioned and we're just messing with people, I want to make sure that the ratio is really low in proportion to all of the loving, genuine, emotionally honest, positive, encouraging things that we're also telling them throughout the week. Like they really have a sense of what we think about them, how we feel about them, so that when you do mess with them, it can be absorbed and laughed about, and that's okay. Acts of kindness. That's another way we can show people grace. Opening the door for someone. Give them a hug, a kiss. Carry their things for them when they're weary. Be quick to apologize and explain yourself if you screw up. Even if you think it's mostly their fault and only partially yours, that's okay. Be the first. Say, hey, I'm so sorry. I missed the ball on that. Maybe doing someone's chore when they're really having a tough day. Maybe a smile, compliment, compassion, relayed in whatever way we want to do that. During COVID, it might be electronically, and that's okay. A big way we can show grace is just to be there. Just show up and be there. Be there emotionally, and be there emotionally present. Don't be distracted, tired, frustrated, so wrapped up in your own stuff. Take a moment and be there. Just sit and be. Maybe just sit and chat about nothing. Making time matters. Time is so short, guys. So showing grace to others whenever we have moments actually is good for us too. It's not just good for them. It gives us hope. It helps us see people as good people, that there is good in the world. It helps us be a part of the good. I think that's a big deal. How about grace for yourself? Now, we've talked about this in many different ways over all the episodes, so some of these might be just a reminder, and that's okay. But when you're in the midst of something, do the no wonder, look for the context. Remember, there are no vacuums. Take responsibility, but be kind and compassionate with yourself. Like, no wonder I screwed that up today. I had too many things going on. Maybe next time I need to do one thing at a time, not try to multitask. Maybe next time I need to set boundaries and ask people, hey, can you give me 5 minutes? And I'll be right with you. So, wonderful lessons to learn. But do the no wonder. Be kind and compassionate to yourself. You're going to be far more loving to others if you can do that. Focus on letting go of outcomes. Instead, focus on your intention, your loving intention, your positive intention, and the footwork that you absolutely can control. Things you can actually do, or maybe stop doing. Note your progress and your good stuff more than the bad. I'm not asking you to not take responsibility or ignore the bad and be in denial. I'm just saying, what are you going to give more energy to? You can acknowledge, like, okay, I screwed up. But look at all the great things I also did today. I'm really proud of that. Remember, what we focus on expands. So if we are kinder to ourselves and see ourselves as capable of changing, we're going to be motivated to change even more and be better people. That's what we forget. Giving grace to yourself means allowing yourself to have your feelings and your failings. If they even are failings, maybe they're just lessons. Maybe they're just ways to success. I don't know. Just a learning experience. Give yourself room and time to grow. A lot of people get really anxious in the beginning of either therapy or coaching or taking a self-help course. They want to do it now and they want to get it done yesterday and accomplish it and achieve it. Guys, 90% of the work is going to come when you sit in the middle of the process and allow it to unfold. Just show up, be open, be willing, and be honest. That's it. Things take time. Behaviors don't change overnight. Don't be impatient with yourself. Watch your self-talk. You hear me say that all the time, and I mean it. up in your head, what you journal, what you tell others about you. Don't be harsh with your tone or your words. No more shoulds. Stop shoulding all over yourself. Don't do the negative focus. Do the positive reframe instead. Turn statements like, I should have sent that email to her. Say, it's okay, I'll send it now. And I'll find a better reminder system for myself tomorrow so this doesn't happen again. See, I'm taking ownership of the problem. I'm taking responsibility. I'm not a victim. And I'm solution focused, which is very positive. It also is the only way to actually solve the effing problem, right? We forget that. Get to the solution. Don't mire in, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. No. Like, okay, that sucks. Next. You have to feel like you can change, grow, that you can make things better, that you can affect change in your life and in the world. We don't do it by being negative. All right, so there's grace. So hopefully you have thought of some things that you can start doing today. And whenever you can think about it, do it. And if you don't think about it today, do it tomorrow. Who cares? Showing grace to others, showing kindness and compassion and grace to yourself. The other thing I want to talk about today is gratitude. Gratitude for what you see, feel, experience. Maybe for what didn't happen. You know, sometimes we forget this. As soon as something's over, boy, are we quick to forget and take for granted something awful that never came to be. How we had a near miss, but we're okay. The medical issue wasn't as bad as we thought. The car slammed on the brakes behind us, but they did not hit us. Scared the life out of us, but it did not hit us. The money came through finally. Our best friend did forgive us and is talking to us again. The job came through. It's because our brain is already moving on to the next thing, is what I'm learning. A lot of gratitude is really taking the moment, right? Just like grace, like being in the moment, just sitting here, being present. So what you see, feel, and experience, maybe it's a sunny day. Maybe it's your warm bed. Maybe it's a hug a loved one just gave you. Maybe it's seeing your little one smile, or your dog be silly, or someone says something hilarious on social media and you just crack up. Gratitude for others too, maybe things they've done for you, are doing for you, are there for you in profound ways. We have to look for this stuff. We have to get perspective. And the first thing we need to do is stop. It is so busy, and I'm guilty too, of just getting so caught up in the day to day that things fly by and we don't stop and notice. And I've really been practicing stopping, making myself stop. And making myself stop with clients too and say, whoa, let's stop here for a moment. Look at what you just accomplished. Look at what just happened here, so that they can also learn to be in the moment, right? And to really sit with it and appreciate it. Remember, like we've talked in these episodes, the moment can be so scary, and you get so used to running from moment to moment, not sitting in one. So we have to make ourselves sit in positive moments and soak them up and sit in their meaning. So gratitude is about what touched your heart today. And that could be anything. And it's whatever touched your heart. Who cares what anyone else thinks? It's about what matters to you and things that you no longer want to take for granted. You know, we're most grateful when the prayer is answered and it's been a rough 24 hours, right? It's been a long night and here comes the sunshine in the morning. The good news comes, the relief, the bad thing didn't happen or wasn't as bad. I think it's because we see the contrast, or we're sitting in the contrast of something very scary, maybe something very overwhelming and very real. that the relief comes and then the gratitude comes, but then we lose it. So we have to practice gratitude, just like we have to practice grace. We have to consciously focus on being grateful. A lot of people say it helps when they have a schedule for this or a structure. A gratitude list before they lay down at night. Something they write out a couple times a day. Speaking it out loud to others is extremely profound. I think it's really powerful to share the gratitude. It makes it real when you say it out loud to someone you trust. Every night, get specific. Give it time. Think. We take so much for granted. Like having a place to sleep. Like still breathing, right? We got another day. We got another day with loved ones. Having food, maybe a home, a job, friends, cash, things to do, meaning and purpose, belongingness, a wonderful dog. The little things, because guys, they add up and that's where life is. A great way to practice this in your family is to do it at dinner time and go around the table. Parents should model this first for the kids. And it's awkward at first, right? But you look to the person to your right and say what you're grateful for about them today. And it could be something small or something big. It could be one thing. It could be three things. But it really sets the tone for dinner, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel so much better saying positive things to someone from your heart and then hearing them as well? Why have relationships if we can't connect like that, right? Kids love to do this, and it's up to us to model to them how to do it and to do it with consistency. We can also be very grateful for specific people in our past, people in our life today. They could be mentors, teachers, relatives, bosses, best friend, sister, parents, the neighbor who helped you, your partner. And if you haven't and they are still in your life, connect with them and let them know. It's never too late to reach out, even if you haven't talked to them in a while. It does wonders for their spirit to get those kinds of letters and emails from people. It helps them know, and it validates, I think, who they are and were for you. If the person is no longer in your life or you don't know how to get in touch with them, write them a letter you never send. It can be very emotional but very powerful, where you're thanking them for all the ways they showed up for you, they taught you things, maybe they were hard on you, and now in hindsight you're grateful, right? You might have been pissed at them at the time, but now you're like, oh wow, thank you. Thank you. I had a mentor that was so hard on me for years. At first it was a challenge, but then I appreciated it because I realized it was tough love, which meant it was real love because they really, really cared about my well-being. And they wanted me to learn and grow. Sending thank you notes, like something we don't do anymore. Leaving notes for loved ones around the house. Leave a Post-it note on the mirror. Thank you so much for listening to me last night, or taking the trash out. I didn't even have to ask. With kids, it's great, or even maybe even your partner. Make a treasure hunt. Make a little treasure hunt in the yard or in the house where they have to go look for stuff. And maybe there's a bag of M&Ms at the end. I don't know. Do a neighbor a favor. Remember when they helped you so much months ago? Show the kids that you do this. Help them too as well. I mean, kids naturally are compassionate, I think, and want to do good in the world. The most important thing with gratitude is looking for it throughout the day. Look for things to be grateful for. The green light, getting somewhere on time, having gas in your car, someone letting you in on the highway, opening the door for you, the phone call that comes right on time. Depending on what you believe, there may not be any coincidences happening. Maybe you are being guided. Maybe you're not alone. Maybe others really care about you. The important thing is to hold these moments close to your heart. Savor them. There's no point if we can't feel it. We got to feel the gratitude, not just think about it. This is living in the moment. It's what we all strive to do, yet struggle to do, and we just need to practice. Just like meditation, yoga, working out as a practice, I think looking for things to be grateful for and savoring them in the moment can be a practice. We have to keep at it. These are also moments, I think, that create the wonderful memories, don't they? Amongst all the bad, because the bad will happen, the bad is happening, we need to note the good as well, so it's more balanced and it's more real, and it gets us through the bad. I know it does for me. Without having to have something scary or bad happen to give us instant perspective, right? To give us that stark contrast. Let's focus today on the good things that we can find, and maybe you can only find one, and that's okay. Maybe it's just the pillow under your head tonight. I don't know. Some days it feels like that, doesn't it? And that's okay. Keep focusing on what matters most and sit with your why. I think our why is what creates all the meaning for us. I think there are some universal whys. I think I've sat with enough people over the years and listened to them. Maybe it's you feeling cared for. Maybe you felt loved. Maybe just thought about. Seen, heard, people noticed what was going on for you. Safe. Maybe someone did something to help you feel safe and loved and nurtured. Maybe you're grateful for feeling connected. You just spent a wonderful hour or two talking to your best friend that you hadn't talked to in a while, and you feel connected and alive. Maybe you feel forgiven. Maybe you've been forgiven. That's huge. Maybe just the idea that you belong because someone reached out to you. The more we practice, I think the better we get at noticing and being thankful for the wonderful things happening for us and around us every day. It's like playing I Spy with your kids in the car, right? They love to do that. That's kind of this. I want you to spy some things to be grateful for. So as you sit in gratitude, it might make you even more mindful of giving, right? As we started this episode talking about. So now that you've sat in what it feels like to feel loved, feel forgiven and thought of, imagine being on the other side of that by being kinder. May we be more forgiving, which is hard. May we be more loving even when we're stressed and we're tired and we're scared. May we be more nurturing and compassionate. It is a choice, and it's a choice in the moment. And if we are more intentional and not so harried and stressed, we have a moment to think about, okay, how do I want to approach my child I'm very frustrated with? How do I want to turn to my partner more gently tonight? How am I kinder to my employees or colleagues tomorrow? How am I nicer to the neighbor? I'm not saying to be codependent and go rescue anyone. Hold on to your boundaries, please, and hold on to yourself. Don't get lost in helping everyone else. There should be a balance. Don't try to fix people. Instead, do what they tell us to do. Give when it feels free, with joy. You just want to do it. It feels natural. There's no stress around it. Find the flow and look for the moments. Can you imagine a world where we all try to do this more? Wow. So today we talked about how to focus on kindness, grace, and gratitude, and how wonderful it feels to receive it, and to learn to treasure those little moments that comprise what is best in life and most profound. Thank you for joining me today. May you find grace for yourself. May you stay safe out there, healthy and grounded, and hold on to hope. Focus on the good in yourself and in others. Be sure to check out the show notes at ownitpowercast.com to sign up for the newsletter each Tuesday, which has the bonus downloads for episodes and all the rest of the info. All right, so pay it forward, keep focusing on you, and I'll see you next time.
We hope you took away some useful insights and tools you could begin using right away. If you did, please leave a positive review and share on your social media. Because could you imagine if everyone in your life really got it together? Remember, own it now, so you can really own it later.